Welcome, everyone, to our March Hope series, Pages of You, a personal journey through guided autobiography and soul collage. I am Heidi Parker. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Community Initiatives Manager at Arts and Healing Initiative, and I am your Zoom host today. This program is presented as part of our free Hope series, Healing Online for People Everywhere, which we created to support the resilience of our global community through social emotional arts. Each workshop offers a supportive space for connection, healing, and empowerment as we navigate the changes in our world. If you have previously attended a Hope session, welcome back. And if you attended last week, also welcome back. If you are new today, thank you for joining. We're grateful you're all here to create, learn, and grow together as a community. Today's program is in a meeting format, so please keep yourself muted until prompted otherwise. We are recording today's session in speaker view to be shared on our YouTube channel, and you are welcome to leave your cameras on as you feel comfortable, as we'd love for you to actively participate. Our session today is scheduled for 2 hours, and feel free to add questions in the chat as they arise, or you can use the raise hand function. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the Tongva Nation, on whose home and land the unceded territory of Los Angeles resides. As we are reminded of our environment's vulnerabilities, we hold respect and gratitude for the Tongva people who still consider themselves the caretakers of this land. By their example, we are reminded of our responsibility to our planet and to one another. Let us reflect on and honor with gratitude the Indigenous communities of past and present on whose land you are joining from today. Today's presenter, Kimberly Lee, is a versatile writer, editor, creativity coach, and facilitator with a passion for nurturing the imaginative spirit and helping others reveal their own inner wisdom. She is a certified guided autobiography instructor and an authorized soul collage facilitator, and has also completed training with the Center for Journal Therapy, the Center for Intentional Creativity, the Path Meditation, and serves on the board of Amherst Writers and Artists. She has led workshops at numerous retreats and conferences, and her stories and essays have been appeared in numerous publications and anthologies. Kimberly trusts in the magic of miracles and synchronicity and believes that everyone is creative. Thanks, Kimberly.
Thanks, Heidi. And welcome, everyone. Good to see you. And thanks for being here for week 2. As I am looking through the chat and seeing all of this beautiful advice that we would have given to our younger selves, I will also share mine. It's a quote that I learned, I don't know when, and I don't know who said it, but it's what other people think of me is none of my business. And I love that one because so much time and energy throughout my life has been given to what impression did I make on people? What did they think? Did I think I was smart? Did I think I was this? Had I not given that much time and energy to that, I could have circumnavigated the globe, you know, found the cure to untold number of diseases. A lot of energy given to that. While it is a question that sounds like one of regret, like, oh, I wish I had known this, I'm choosing to see it as an acknowledgement of something that we've learned along the way. And so it's something that we've picked up. And, of course, we wish we would have known it then. C'est la vie, that's life, but we know it now. And it's an acknowledgement and a celebration of growth. And now we can tell it to our present and future self. So that's what I'm telling myself. What people think about me, none of my business. That's going forward. And then what I also see is a lot of trust your gut, trust your intuition, just beautiful. That's something that we learn. And it really ties into soul collage because soul collage is dealing with intuition and bringing that forth that's within us. So that's perfect. It also ties into our theme for today, which is turning points, branching points, those pivotal moments in our lives, choices, decisions that we made, or maybe that were made for us, and events, big or small, that impacted us, maybe challenges, maybe triumphs, but things that put us on a particular path, took us in a specific direction. And it could include things that took place before your birth. So, for example, when I've written, one of the writings that I've done to this particular theme is about all 4 of my grandparents who moved from Mississippi. The two families did not know each other, but they moved from Mississippi out west here to California during World War II to work on the shipyards in the Bay Area. My parents met in their 20s, like much later, but that decision that they made before I was even a thought really impacted my life. So it could include those types of stories, as well as something that someone said to you. Maybe someone said some little nugget of wisdom. And of course, epiphanies and revelations of your own, even a book you read, something, or a brief encounter with a stranger. So it really is a uh, broad topic. To give you an overview of how the next couple hours will look, we're going to switch it up this time and do the writing first, and then share the writing, and then do soul collage and share that in small groups. But before we write, I'm going to be leading you through a guided visualization and also a quick little fun little warm up activity just to get us ready to write, and then we will do the writing. Um, and we'll have a chance, of course, to share in small groups, both with writing and soul collage. So I always like to just um, reiterate that the workshop will be conducted under the CARES guidelines, and that stands for confidentiality, acceptance, respect, empathy, and support. So know that whatever you share will be received and witnessed with those values as their foundation. So I would love to now just have us settle in. Feel free to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or just simply soften your gaze, soften your focus. And now closing, and now if your eyes are closed or wherever you're looking, take a slow, deep breath in and let that out. Maybe taking another deep breath and letting it out slower on the exhale. It calms the nervous system. And one more inhale, and an even slower exhale. And now allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Feeling a wave of warmth and relaxation flow through you as you settle into a place of deep peace. The world around you softens, and in its place, a new landscape emerges, one filled with light, possibility, and the quiet wisdom of your soul. You find yourself standing on a beautiful, well worn path. The ground beneath your feet is familiar, imprinted with the steps of your journey, each one a testament to your courage, resilience, and growth. As you look down, you see the footprints of your past, some bold and confident, others careful and thoughtful. Every step has carried you forward, shaping the person you are today. A gentle breeze stirs the air, rich with the scent of earth and fresh rain, a reminder that life is always renewing, always offering new beginnings. As you walk, memories begin to rise around you, carried on the wind like soft whispers. You pass places along your path that seem familiar, each one a turning point, a moment when you chose to grow, to love, to move forward. Soon, the path leads you to a vast clearing where multiple roads stretch out before you, each one shimmering with possibility. This is a place of decision and transformation, a sacred space where all the moments that have led to now come together in harmony. To your left, a winding trail moves through a lush forest, dappled with sunlight. This path represents a time when you navigated uncertainty with courage, when you trusted yourself even when the way forward wasn't clear? What strengths did you discover in yourself during that time? What wisdom did you gain? Now look ahead. A golden path opens onto a wide meadow, bathed in warm light. It symbolizes a moment when you embraced something new, when you stepped forward with excitement and curiosity. Perhaps it was a time you followed a dream, took a leap of faith, or allowed yourself to experience pure joy. How did that moment change you? What gifts did it bring? You may also see a path that represents kindness, the times when you extended love, generosity, or compassion to someone in need. Every kind act, no matter how small, has rippled outward, touching the world in ways you may never fully know. How has kindness shaped your journey? Perhaps another path glows with the energy of strength and self empowerment, a time when you stood up for yourself, embraced your worth, or let go of something that no longer served you. What did you reclaim for yourself in that moment? What new doors opened because of your courage? Further ahead, another road shines with the warmth of joy and adventure. It calls forth memories of times when you said yes to life, when you embraced connection, laughter, and the magic of the present moment. How did those experiences remind you of what truly matters? And then there is the path woven with love, the moments when your heart overflowed with connection, gratitude, and belonging. These are the moments that remind you that you are deeply loved, that you have always been exactly where you are meant to be. Who has walked this path with you? What does love feel like in your soul? The sky above shifts and a golden light spreads across the clearing. You take a deep breath, feeling the power of your journey, the beauty of all you have lived. Every choice, every step has led you to this moment, and every path ahead is filled with possibility. With this newfound clarity and deep peace, you turn back towards the path you are on today, knowing that these crossroads will always be within you. No road was wasted, every step has mattered. And now, with your heart full and your spirit strong, you walk forward. And slowly now beginning to return, feeling the ground beneath you, the air around you, the present moment welcoming you back, allowing yourself to come back fully, carrying the insights and the warmth of the journey before you. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes or return your gaze to the screen. So, what I would love us to do is to start with a little diagram. And it's something you're going to draw a tree. And I'm going to share kind of an example here. So, maybe something like this. Just take just a scratch piece of paper or just a piece of paper and just draw a tree with, kind of some big fluffy areas that you can write within. And as you draw it, try not to be too precious about the tree and what it looks like. This is just a sketch, it's just a tool. It doesn't have to look like something out of an Ansel Adams photograph or a Georgia O'Keeffe portrait. It's just something for us that we're going to work with. So take a moment to just draw kind of a tree like this. And now once you have your tree, I'm going to invite you to, I'll give you an example of what you can do with the tree. Is you're going to write in those areas the various branching points in your life, those moments when you made decisions or decisions were made for you that took you on a different path or that were integral, like pivotal moments. So this is mine, and I have here, let me see if I can make it a little larger. But I have a number of things. I have leaving the practice of law was a big decision for me. Moving to Los Angeles, my first job, moving into my own apartment, meeting my husband was a big point. I put, of course, in there my grandparents moving from Mississippi to California. I also have in there the first time I experienced racism. I remember that very vividly as a child. It's kind of a loss of innocence there. Um, I have words from a mentor. I had an internship where a mentor said a few things, and I really remember her words. Um, there was a big earthquake up in, I believe it was 1989 in the Bay Area, the Loma Prieta earthquake. I was in college at that time, and that really had an impact on me becoming a mother. So I have a number of things there. And so I'd invite you to uh, populate your tree with similar moments, just scanning back and take a couple minutes to just fill in your tree with those moments that you remember, big or small, that maybe took you in a different direction or impacted you somehow. And as you start to maybe fill in those last couple of areas, so hopefully you had a chance to look at the prime questions, or maybe you have that handout in front of you. Can I get like maybe just a thumbs up if you have those questions with you? Okay, great. Liz, I see you. See a lot of thumbs coming up. Jennifer, thank you. Laura, I see a lot of thumbs coming up. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what I'd love for you to do now is you have your diagram of a number of branching points, turning points. You also have those questions as well that you've looked over. So now go ahead and choose one of those, just one of those moments. And so this kind of shows you how you could return to this again and again. You have a tree full of stories that you could write. For now, just choose one that you will write about. And we're going to have about 15 minutes to write that story. And what I'll do is put up a number of ways that you might start, because sometimes it's hard to know, like, how am I going to start this? That's something that whenever I want to write something, it's like, oh, how to start. That's the big thing. And so I could spend a lot of time on that. So here are some thoughts to consider, possible ways to begin. You may already know how you want to start. You may want to start with whatever, so if you're talking about something that was said to you, you may want to start with that piece of dialogue, but you might also look at some of these as ideas and ways to begin. So we will have 15 minutes, and I think Heidi's going to put up a timer for us, and just go for it. And again, letting go of the inner critic, the inner editor. This is just a chance to just get this story onto the page. If you wanted to work with it later, you could go back and edit it, but the first time, just getting the story out. All the best. And starting to find a place where you can bring the current sentence to a close. Starting to find a stopping point. No need to wrap it all up at this point. You can always continue with this story, but just finding a stopping point. Okay. And so now Heidi is going to place us into groups of three. We will have until the top of the hour in the group. So until 10, well, 10 my time, could be 11, 12, who knows. So top of the hour. Um, and I just will say a few words just again about feedback and how to respond to what's been shared by any of the writers. And so, in terms of witnessing, just simply listen actively, giving your full presence as the story is shared and offering supportive words, reflecting back what was shared in a few phrases, and avoiding interpretation or evaluation. And also, kind of avoiding of course, we want to say, "Oh, I've experienced that as well," and we want that's a great way to relate to someone and let someone know they're not alone in whatever experience they may be sharing. But we do want to avoid, for lack of a better word, hijacking their story and saying, "Oh, let me tell you about this," and going off into our own story. So maybe just a few words of that we relate to them and we hear them and maybe we've shared that experience, but then giving the floor back to them and making sure because we're of course going to have our chance to share our own story, and then avoiding comparisons and judgments and things like that, and of course maintaining confidentiality within the group. Okay, with that, let me send you off to your groups. Beautiful. All right, well, let us now roll on into Soul Collage. So from last week, you've had an overview and got a good sense of it. So what you're going to have is until 30 after the hour to create your Soul Collage card, just with the images that you brought with you. And then we will be working with some prompts to interpret it, to synthesize and integrate kind of this theme, but it doesn't really matter what images you brought. I truly believe that any images can speak to any topic. So that's really one of the things that's so enchanting about this process. So I will put up a slide that kind of goes over, here it is, how to create your collage. In Soul Collage, there's really no rules, just tips. So the way that I like to create mine. And again, you may know exactly what you want to do with your images, but I find it's helpful to do as what we did last week, which is to select my primary image first, my person or animal, and then my background, and then maybe look and see what wants to go on it. So that's the process I use, but use whatever process works for you. You may know exactly what you want to do. Just remember that your cards do it's helpful if they contain the same energy. So, as you can see from this one, these are all joyful children. So, if I had a child who was in tears, I'd give that child their own card with other animals and things that represent that mood. So, the same energy is helpful. Lean into the unusual, the real and the imaginary together. Again, that's the nature of collage is different things that we don't usually see together. And then one other thing that you might do is, as you can see what I did with this one here, I had this really big old glass of milk and then the woman's arm was coming around. So I kind of cut around the arm and inserted the milk in there, kind of integrating the images. And that's something fun to do to make it pop. And sometimes that will have additional meaning. So feel free if you might cut some images and integrate some things in. Other than that, all the best on this. We have until 30 after the hour. There'll be some nice music and just enjoy, have fun, permission to play, inner critic out the door. All right. All the best. And hopefully you have something now that you can interpret. Even you may still want to fiddle with it a little bit later, but hopefully something that we can work with to interpret and play with now. And, I'll just say that last week I invited you to speak from the primary image. And by primary image, obviously, so like in this one, the primary image would be the cheetah, like the living, breathing thing. But any image on your collage can speak, any image can offer something. So we have a slide that I'm going to put up now. I'm going to be Heidi, if you could put up that slide. And we'll have a little bit of music with this one as well. And so you can, of course, I'm going to leave it up to you and give you some options. You can speak from the primary image and just do an I am one who from the primary image and continue from there as we did last week. Or you might choose to take a look at these questions and ask the different images on your card these questions and let those images respond to the questions. So, for example, of course, the primary image is the cheetah, but the background image in this card would be the road that he is walking on. It might have something to say. Supporting image would be the dice. And so each of those images can speak. So you might choose to uh, interpret it by looking at some of the other images and see what surprises come up. But again, as always, you can always just do an I am one who from the primary image. That is perfect as well. So we'll have until 40 after the hour, so about 8 minutes, to just see what comes of this card using either these prompts or just a simple I am one who. And again, stepping into the collage and kind of taking on the perspective of those images. That's what's really makes this very powerful is when you kind of step into the world you've created and become those images and speak from their perspective. And starting to find a place where you can bring it to a close for now. And so we are going to have an opportunity to go back into our small groups and share what you would like, whatever you wish. You'd like to show your collage, share what came of it, anything that you would like to offer into your small group. We'll be there for about 12 minutes until about 52 after the hour. All right, and let me see if there's anyone else. Okay, I think, is there anyone else who is before we head off into the weekend? All right. Well, I want to thank you so much once again for being here. This has been wonderful. This is a blessing to me as well. So thank you. Wish you a happy weekend, a wonderful weekend with peace and blessings. And also, I just would love to leave you with one of my favorite poems, if I could, especially when, we're thinking about the past and then also looking at the future. And this is just it goes without saying, a very challenging time for everyone. So I wish you the peace. This is one of my favorite poems. You've probably heard it, The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day blind stars waiting with their light. And for a time, I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. And so I wish you, for all of us, just the peace of wild things this weekend. Look forward to seeing you next week. You'll receive a recording, you'll receive the handout for next week, and it will be health in the body will be our topic. So have a wonderful, safe weekend. It is raining here. Really nice. Be safe, whatever the weather is, wherever you are, and look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for your presence and participation here today.
Thank you.
Back to you, Heidi. Back to Heidi.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Gratitude again for leading us through week 2 of this creating and writing journey. And thank you to everyone for joining us again today. We'd just like to extend our appreciation for our donors and the LA Department of Arts and Culture who make the Hope series possible, and to poets and writers, of which this series is partially supported by. I did put the survey in the chat. You will also receive it in a follow-up email. And we just continue appreciating hearing your thoughts about hope and future sessions. And then we do have upcoming programs. They're also on our website. And so we hope you have a wonderful weekend. And we look forward to seeing you next Friday for week 3.